Hello, my name is Tomas Martinez, and this is going to be my individual reflection project on the film that we had watched in class, Fresa y Chocolate. So, for this film specifically, in regards to like who we would specifically relate to, I would probably say I relate more to David or David just because I personally maybe haven't gone through those same struggles of being somebody, I guess, different in that societal context and being somebody who's kind of pushed away from society and not somebody who's actually accepted and can be themselves and express themselves the way they want. So because of that, I wouldn't really associate myself too much with Diego. Not to say like I'm against him or anything, but yeah, I do definitely think I've been raised more in a more conservative fashion. I've been raised more in like a men don't cry, like you're just supposed to do what you're supposed to do and just kind of stick to that. So I guess one of the things that I really thought was interesting about the movie is kind of seeing how, we have extremes to both sides of these stories when it comes to politics or when it comes to ideals and what's wrong and what's right. And at the end of the day, I feel like these movies are just trying to show us that at the end of the day, we're all the same types of people. Like we're all still human beings. We're all still equal to some extent. And realistically, although we might have our differences in the way we think and who we like, who we don't like, all these different things, at the end of the day, I feel like this film just tries to show you that there's a lot more to what you think about a person because we tend to have a lot of biases and judgments for people before we even know them. And a lot of times, even though it might be somebody who we think we wouldn't really have any shared views on, or we couldn't really get to enjoy anything together, a lot of those types of people end up being really good friends just because not everything has to be exactly the way you want it or exactly the way you think it should be. It is good to have a balance in life. And I mean, that goes for everything. It's like you can't be eating junk food every single day of your life, but you also can't just be like a robot who's every single day eating healthy, perfect amounts of foods. Like all these things in life just end up falling to where people actually find happiness and find the true meaning of life is in balance. At the end of the day, having a balanced life is what we all strive for, even though we might not realize it, because a lot of people think, oh, if I go and do all these drugs, I'm going to be happy. And then they go do all those drugs and realize they're not happy from that. Same way, people will just think that eating enough will just get them out of their emotions and all these different things. There's all ways to cope with realizing that at the end of the day, too much of anything is bad for you. And that also goes for ideals. If you're too locked into a mentality, or if you think that something is a certain way and there's no other way of looking at it, then the problem stems within yourself. You have to open up your horizons to understand other people come from different places, other people have different backgrounds. And at the end of the day, regardless of what you personally believe in or what you have been brought up to think, you have to accept that nothing is so black and white. And that's what I noticed from this film is how David starts to understand more about Diego and understand where he's coming from and finally realize, yeah, maybe this wasn't so black and white. Maybe it's not like every single person that believes this acts in this way and is always going to be this way. And that just goes to show that there's a lot more when it comes down to a personal level and a human to human interaction instead of just looking at our ideals and our politics. So that was essentially my opinion and my analysis for this film. And I hope you enjoyed that, Edgar. Thank you. Have a good day or good night.